Segment 5. We want to be persistent like Rickey. This one happened in Seattle. Rickey struck out, and as the next batter was walking past him, he heard Henderson say, "Don't worry, Rickey. You're still the best." DFS is hard, man. Sometimes you got to be your own best friend, your own cheerleader, and you got to be persistent, man, because this thing will really grind and wear you down, especially MLB. I'm going to get into some more process stuff. Here's something that I don't understand. If you're running crunches one team at a time, then how are you capping pitchers? Wouldn't every crunch that you run continue to give the best pitching options at pitcher? Pitchers always cap to 25%. Cruncher tool knows to limit pitchers at 25%. So the pitcher in my first 3 lineups out of 10, then it knows not to put in the 11th, but it put in the 12th, 4th. It's a pretty complicated question. I don't really know. Dave and his team at Fantasy Cruncher are really good at that. All I know is that if I request it to, let's get out of here, and let's turn off this nasty thing, and let's cap our pitchers. Go to pitchers. And let's cap them at 25. And let's close this. I mean, we can watch it. It'll show you right here. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know where Verlander got in there. And I don't know if it works this way every time, but it looks like Verlander's in the 1st. He's in the 5th. He's in the 9th. So, yeah, it looks like it just puts Verlander in there every 4th lineup. So, hey, learn something new every day. Alrighty. My guess is that what you're most concerned about when you say get the bats that you want has something to do with the batting order. So I planned on talking about that in this segment, but I already went off on my tangent in the earlier segment. No, that is not what that means. What it means is I want to get exposure to the bats that I want. And when I say that, that's the teams that I want. So let's say I have 5 teams that I want to get exposure to. I'll just build them individually to make sure that, hey, if you guys want to, or you want to make sure you get a contrarian stack of Twins and it's not going to show up in your big crunch, if you just ran 150 based off projections, I'll just run a specific set of, I don't know, it's not putting the Twins in there. You get the point. So I do want to get into something that is the number one thing that I apply to every single DFS life decision that I make is Occams Razor. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but Occams Razor, Occam was a guy, I don't know, like in the 14th century, something like that. Yeah, 14th century. I think he's from England, and he basically, there's a more complicated version of it, but I Occam Razors that, and basically there's many ways to solve a problem. The simplest solution is usually the correct one. So I try to apply that to everything. And how that applies to MLB, we will take a look at our Yankees example again. Clint Frazier, bottom of the guys win GPPs too, you know. We probably didn't say that, but. And again, if this go back to our box score here with the Yankees, and they scored 15 runs, if you were all about forcing it, let's say you're like, dude, I just want the top 5. I don't want any of the guys in the bottom. You didn't win the GPP with your Yankee stack. You just burned your money. You lit it on fire. You had to have Aaron Judge in there, and you had no Clint Frazier. And Clint Frazier was the reason you won GPPs that day. This is another thing. This is another popular buzz thing that's been going on in DFS, and I don't know how it works. I don't care. It's too complicated for me. Is that the same school of thought as people are doubling their hitter projections to get hitters at the top of the order in more of their lineups? Yeah, you can do that. You can certainly do that. We talked about in the first segment of this video, if you want more of a person, you can adjust their projections to do so. I do that for NBA. I just don't recommend it for MLB. If you're stacking a team, you want to stack the team to score runs. The more runs they score, the more DFS points they are, the more opportunity you have to win a tournament. Again, you do not win GPP tournaments with chalk. You win it with somebody that is lower owned. You can have Chalk in there, you can have Judge and Stanton, but if you don't have Frazier, who's probably owned at 7% or less that day, you're not winning a GPP. So don't be so discriminatory about the guys at the bottom of their lineups. They're baseball players too. They have feelings, Don't be so mean to them. Put them in your lineups. Start winning some money out here. So, as Dwight Schrute would say, keep it simple, stupid. Great advice, and it hurts my feelings every time. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, guys. Just trying to show you a little tough love. Don't make this game any more complicated than it needs to be. Apply Occam's Razor to it. The simplest solution is always better. Or don't. Most contrarian thing is not to oppose the crowd, but to think for yourself. So another little bit of tangent. This goes into hand in hand with the other process that we had. Got a little ahead of myself, but it's all applicable. And appreciate you guys stopping by again. We'll get into the next segment coming up next.